Hello, and welcome to Infinitely Lily. My name is Maria, and today I'm going to be doing an energy reading for the Awakening Collective of twin flames, soulmates, starseeds, empaths, and all other energetically sensitive archetypes. I'm just going to connect with spirit and allow specific messages for those watching here and now, as well as in the future, in any point in time, to make their energy known to me so that I can bring through specific messages for you in your situation. Know that energy doesn't follow the standards of time. Therefore, if you watch this video in any point in the future, your energy will be available to me here and now. Specifically, if you like this video and subscribe to this channel, you are also helping me to tune into your energy more clearly. Okay, awesome. Spirit is here in full force. I feel a lot of angels coming in. There is actually a very specific message coming through here for somebody watching. I feel someone here is feeling very alone. There is this very deep energy I'm getting of feeling like giving up. I talked about this a little bit yesterday in my video, but this is, I'm tuning into someone specific here. They're screaming for help. The person I'm connecting with, I feel they are really desperately wanting someone to check in on them. I feel they are kind of feeling defeated because they feel like nobody is saying to them what they need to hear. And they keep feeling the need to reach out, or they kind of want to reach out, but when they do, they feel shut down and kind of worse. Every time they reach out, they feel worse. So they've decided to just retreat. I keep seeing this. What I feel is I'm connecting with is a divine feminine. However, that is not specific to gender. So it could just be the divine feminine experience that you're having, whether you're male or female. But I do feel I'm connecting with the divine feminine who's kind of just been curdled up and hiding out a bit. Kind of, I see like not wanting to check her phone, kind of just hermit mode to the max and hiding out from social media and other things. I feel that this divine feminine's family or friends or support group is thinking about her, but they're unsure of how to help because they have noticed the same thing, that when they do reach out to her, she does seem to retreat more. So there seems to be a lack of communication or a miscommunication happening here between the divine feminine and her support team. It's like they can't get through to her because the information or the messages or the advice or whatever it is that they're giving to this divine feminine isn't actually resonating with her, and it isn't actually helping. I feel this divine feminine is desperately deprived of validation. She's just wanting someone to tell her that everything's going to be okay, that she is doing a great job as a woman, as a partner, as a person, as a mother, as a friend, as a sister, as a daughter, whatever it is for your specific situation. I believe I do see this divine feminine perhaps having in some form of separation with her masculine, whether it be physical separation or more emotional separation. So just feeling emotionally abandoned in some way by her masculine or by her divine counterpart. And feeling this very deep sense of lack of self-worth. There definitely is a lack of self-worth energy coming here. Although I feel this cracking open happening in this divine feminine's heart chakra, it's like for the first time in this deep despair, she's actually feeling, she's almost feeling a sense of purpose or a sense of peace, I should say, with this pain. It's like the divine feminine finally surrendered to the fight. And I talked about this yesterday. The fight of between the angel and devil, between the two voices in her head that keep telling her she's not good enough, that she has to be doing better, and she can never please either of these voices, and it keeps going back and forth, driving her to insanity, trying to keep up with these ever demanding voices in her head, or these ever these victim mentality voices. Either one is telling her she needs to be better, or the other one's telling her that she is completely helpless. And she's been ripped apart. And I talked about this yesterday, how I feel the divine feminine has finally surrendered to these voices and said, like, enough, like, shut up, just give me a second. And it's allowed the divine feminine to finally retreat back and feel a sense of peace, a sense of calm, because these voices are no longer plaguing her as often or as much. But I still feel she is feeling desperate for some kind of validation. And what I'm seeing here is the divine feminine is awakening her truth. In her heart chakra is where we have our truth, and our throat chakra is where we speak our truth. But I see it from the divine feminine's perspective. She is awakening her truth in her heart chakra, which is going to allow her to remember that she is all she needs, that she can give herself the validation that she needs. She can give herself the reassurance that she needs. She can say the things to herself that she can not find in someone else. She's waiting for someone else to say the perfect words to help her get up and start living, but it never happens, and she continuously just feels let down by the advice or support that she feels people are trying to give to her. She sees their hearts are in the right place, but it's never actually doing anything. And I feel it's because of this emotional abandonment in herself. She might be feeling emotional abandonment from her divine counterpart, from her masculine, but really what's happening here is that she has, maybe for a long time, never been actually capable of emotionally supporting herself. She's always relied on her masculine or someone outside of herself to help her emotionally. And this might be the start of an emotional awakening for this divine feminine that I'm connecting with. She might start to realize that, wow, yes, I do have to be able to emotionally validate my own self-worth and allow myself the value that I deserve. So I really do feel this is the message coming through for you, and I feel so many angels connecting with me now. So many like very benevolent energies coming through right now of just this grace, because I feel this divine feminine has been struggling so hard and trying so hard, but just feeling this kind of helpless and just very alone. And I feel these angels coming through and saying, you are all you need, and you know, you can give yourself that emotional validation. You can say to yourself, you know what? I am enough. Once you say that, you're going to silence these voices inside of your head. These are just your imbalances. These are your egos. I talked about this yesterday. Your spiritual ego and your 3D ego, or your masculine ego and your feminine ego, battling themselves out. Every time you find yourself swinging between two emotions of self-loathing and also the need to be better, you're trying to motivate yourself, I have to be this better person, and then you go back and you feel, I'm not this better person. I want you just to take those energies and just push them together. And see, when you push those energies together, this might be something you need to do during meditation. You see that those feelings, the confusion and the voices stop. You found your center. When you are centered, there is no imbalance. Nothing can cause you to feel like you don't know, or you're indecisive, or you're confused. That only happens when we get out of our hearts, when we get out of balance. That's when these voices start to really confuse us. Our inner compass gets discombobulated, and we no longer can hear our truth. So I feel like this divine feminine is really being guided back into her heart, just to be more gentle with herself and this process. And every time she hears a voice that is telling her she has to be better or that she's not good enough, she's just going to silence them, bringing them together. When she brings them together, she's going to feel this sense of self-compassion that she's maybe never felt before. Feeling compassionate for you, for going through what you've been going through. You know, it is intense, and maybe no one will ever be able to tell you exactly what you need to hear. Maybe you just need to say it to someone. Say, can you please say this to me? And in that process, you'll probably just be able to say it to yourself. But I think for this divine feminine, I'm just seeing a journal. So maybe just journaling what you need to say to yourself or what you want someone to say to you might really help you heal this self-abandonment wound, I feel. As we heal the self-abandonment wound, this is, I feel, a collective experience for the divine feminine. We're going to start awakening true, authentic self-love. And this is the energy I just felt, and I just got super chills coming in here. And a bit emotional. As the divine feminine truly begins to love herself, I don't know. It's going to be extraordinary. The amount of power behind a divine feminine loving herself is completely unstoppable. It is completely unstoppable energy, and I feel this so strongly for this divine feminine. I see like she's literally like the light at the end of the tunnel, but she's almost about to give up. And it's like, no, you're almost there, you're almost there. But Spirit's saying, yes, give up the energies that you're holding on to about not being good enough or needing to be better. This extreme expectation for yourself, and then also coupled by this extreme self-loathing. Let those go and see that you and your glory in the now moment is all that you need. Honor the process and honor what you want to do now and what you need now. And Spirit's showing me that this process is extraordinarily intense. So you might just need to do anything that it takes to stay sane. Literally, that might be pacing around the house. That might be going for a walk. That might be, going to the movies. That might be watching a movie. That might be just sitting in silence. That might be, eating what you feel you need to eat without judging yourself. That might be just doing whatever you need to do without your spiritual ego telling you need to have a smoothie every morning, or you're, judging you when you're eating ice cream. It's like, maybe you need ice cream. It's don't allow this self-judgment to limit you, is what I'm getting. And really tune in and honor the divine feminine that's awakening within you, because I really do believe this is what's happening to the divine feminine that I'm connecting with, and more so on a collective level, is that we are awakening this true, authentic divine feminine. And it is a very vulnerable process, and we are extremely sensitive, maybe overly sensitive, like so sensitive that no one can even look us in the eye without us, coupling over and whatever. And that's okay. Honor that part of you. If you are sensitive, maybe you need to ask people, set those strong energetic boundaries and say, I am really sensitive right now. Can you please be more sensitive with me? There's nothing wrong with me. I don't have to apologize for being sensitive. Something else that I feel is coming up right now for the divine feminine is she is realizing her sensitivity. And she might have been bullied in the past from other energies, or her masculine specifically, for being too sensitive. And there's no such thing as a divine feminine that is too sensitive, really. Sensitivity is, if you are too sensitive, it is no longer sensitivity. Um, when the divine feminine learns to validate and reassure herself, she will be able to emotionally support herself in ways that her divine masculine wasn't capable of doing. So when someone is overly insensitive to her, she will be able to simply just brush it off and reassure herself that, it's okay, that's just their thing, and not take it as a direct hit at their pride, or cause her to become defensive in some way. I feel this divine feminine is really sticking out for her sensitivity right now and saying, you know what, I am sensitive and I need you to be more sensitive towards me. I feel in a lot of situations, the divine masculine and divine feminine have become too over familiar with each other, causing the divine masculine to kind of, he might call it walking on eggshells, but really what it is just being a nice person and not being rude. When you meet someone, you don't criticize them. You're not overly analytical about what they do. We do not enter into relationships to be criticized. I think the divine feminine needs to remember this, remembering her self-worth, remembering her self-value, and not allowing, herself to hold on to a relationship or feel she is longing for a reconnection of a relationship with a masculine that wasn't respecting her and her boundaries and her needs, a masculine that wasn't capable of supporting her in the ways that she needed. This divine feminine may just need to stand strong in her power and say, no, this is where my line is. This is what I'm willing to put up with. If you're not capable of meeting my needs, then I'm not capable of staying in this relationship any longer. And I think the divine feminine really needs to establish that line. A boundary is a line. What are you willing to put up with? No, absolutely not. Also, the divine feminine can establish energetic boundaries within herself, emotional boundaries within herself. When she starts tipping the scales to self-loathing, she says, no, you know what? No, I'm not doing that. I can feel a little bit of pity for myself or the situation I'm going through, but I'm not going to allow myself to go deep into a spiraling pit of despair. I'm going to bring it back because I know I'm worthy and I know that I'm capable of something great and I know that things are going to work out for me. So yes, this divine feminine is being guided to set those strong energetic boundaries with her masculine and be like, you are being rude to me because you're not being considerate of my sensitivity. You cannot tell me that I'm oversensitive. That is a manipulation tactic, emotional manipulation tactic that I am not willing to put up with anymore. When you met your masculine, I'm sure he walked on eggshells, but he didn't call it walking on eggshells. He just called it being nice, right? We lose that through overfamiliarity, and then we just think we have to tolerate that kind of insensitive behavior. And I really believe this divine feminine is awakening to that, remembering that no, we do not have to tolerate rudeness in our relationships just because we have had an undervalued self-esteem, which has caused us to think that we need to just take this kind of insensitivity because we can't do better or because we're somehow broken or intolerable in a relationship. And it's absolutely not true. Absolutely not true. This divine feminine is being guided to really stand up for herself. You know what? I am a good person. I am nice. And I am a very sensitive person, and that's a high quality to have. I feel emotions deeply, and that's a high quality to have. I'm no longer allowing you to undermine my good qualities and try to project them or manipulate me to make me feel like my good qualities are bad qualities. I'm no longer allowing that form of emotional abuse. This can also be perceived as your own inner experience, as your divine feminine yelling at your divine masculine. I'm going to do a reading tomorrow directed at the divine masculine because I know I I definitely know everything has two sides. Um, and I'm definitely not bashing right now. This is a message to the divine feminine specifically with within regards to her specific situation and those who I'm connecting with right now. Yes. I see this divine feminine standing in her power. You know, after she's quieted these voices, she's starting to like really be able to pick herself up off the couch or wherever she's kind of been hiding out of and feel empowered as she moves through her day without these voices nagging at her that she needs to be doing something differently. And just accepting whatever it is that she needs and wants to do and just honoring that and doing it. And just seeing the beauty and the simplicity in that process. Seeing that you've always thought you've had to be doing something different, that you were never actually doing enough. This is a pandemic where the divine feminine is feeling this not enoughness. I'm just going to draw a card here from the Energy Oracle deck. So adjacent possibilities just flew out. I'm just going to read from the guidebook here. Many unconsidered options. Sometimes the force of habit keeps you stuck and unaware of potentially healthier and happier choices at hand. Yet every moment gives you the option to open a different door and take a different course, whether it's in your thoughts, behaviors, and major life decisions. Yes, I see this dependency, this codependency energy coming from the divine feminine. For a few people I'm seeing, but this is more overarching energy of feeling the need to sacrifice, over sacrifice her wants and dreams and needs to just be loved by a divine masculine, a masculine. Just not putting her needs first. And that's what's going to happen here as we awaken the heart chakra and really come into balance with removing this self-abandonment wound. We're going to remember self-love and realize that we are all we've ever needed, the divine feminine, no longer overly sacrificing what we truly want just so that we can stay in a happy relationship or be in a relationship or be supported and loved by someone. This desperate need to have someone in our lives is what's caused us this desperate need to have someone in our lives. It's kind of this vicious cycle. So the spirit with this card, they're showing me just there's new doors. Maybe it's time for you to raise your standards. Maybe the person from the past that you've been clinging to is no longer right for you. And maybe you've outgrown them in the way that they are no longer capable of meeting your needs, whether they be emotional, physical, mental, whatever, spiritual. Maybe I do see for many here that maybe the universe is giving you something new, something upgraded. And I know for many of you that might just be within your connection currently, allowing you to choose something more on a personal level. But I think for a lot of you here, this is referring to taking the leap of faith to let go completely of a connection that you've been clinging to desperately because you thought you could never do better, or you thought this is all that you could ever get, or some kind of desperate need coming from lack, and just letting that go. And I see the universe giving you something better, something more suitable to you and your situation and your needs. And Spirit's showing me, regardless of the complications that you see attached to the situation, I hear this but, shoulda, woulda, coulda, this shoulding on ourselves. But what about this? And I kind of see like, but we have a past, a history, a family. Maybe this is coming from a very coming from a situation with a lot of, history. And I'm definitely not saying this is only take this if it connects with you, but I do see that divine feminine I'm connecting with is in separation with her masculine or a masculine that she's hanging on to. So this could be just a karmic relationship more so. And she's desperately pleading for him to come back in some way, maybe just in her head or in her mind or in her heart. She just hasn't been able to let go because she's holding on to the expectations and kind of these fallacy fantasies of what she expected to see in her future. She has to grieve the loss of a life that she thought she was going to live. And I see spirit coming through here and saying, but what? Just wait. Just wait. Like things, once you let go of this old baggage, this old situation, we are going to replace it with something new because you have been doing the work. You are doing the work. You have outgrown the situation. And when you outgrow something, you have to let it go, or else it will just create negative energy. Anything out of balance creates negative energy. So if you are growing and your person you're holding on to is not, they're stuck, you're going to create negative energy in the relationship, whether you desperately want to make it work for these very 3D perspective 3D perspective illusions, right? There obviously we know that there are multiple factors in everything, but I do believe there's some kind of karmic relationship here I'm connecting with, and the universe is saying, let go of it. And something even more extraordinary than you can even imagine is coming to you. These adjacent of all possibilities are coming to you if you just have the faith and the strength to let go of this old situation. I'd seen a divine feminine, regretting the situation with her masculine, like, oh, I shouldn't have left him, or I should have done this, and I should have done. And Spirit's saying, no, like you experiencing this regret is part of the process of realizing your own self-worth. But don't hold on to it. Your lack of self-worth is what's causing you to feel like you should have. I do see that I'm connecting with someone with children here and feeling like they should have for the family. I do feel, though, that the universe is reassuring you to say, no, you know you were being called somewhere else. You know you are following your heart and your true calling. You can hear the echo inside of you that you are outgrown of this situation and that better is on its way. Yes, of course, we know that family is worth fighting for, but not when it comes to over self-sacrificing your own needs, your own goals. I hear Spirit coming in and saying, where have you over-sacrificed your dreams for your masculine or a masculine in your past? It is time to let that go. You came here for a divine purpose, bigger than anything you have yet to experience, and you can feel that growing inside of you. You can hear that calling. You are being called, and you are answering that call. So let go of the need to be hard on yourself for what you know you needed to do. And move into this new accepted energy with full knowing that it is exactly where you're meant to be. I hear the universe yelling, you are no longer playing small. The reason why you decided to have a family with a situation that didn't work out, and I am connecting with the divine feminine here, or a few divine feminines, that seem to be in separation with their masculine that they've had a family with. Specifically, I'm seeing this. The reason why you chose this is because you are healing a deep collective divine feminine wound of over sacrifice. I got a huge wave there of energy. So you need to choose you in order to heal this part of you that you desperately feel guided to. This is the journey for those connecting with this message. This is your journey to choose you. To not let the illusions of necessity cloud over your dreams of what you know you're meant to do here. Not letting guilt cloud your vision of feeling that you aren't deserving of moving on from a situation that no longer serves you. You are raising your standards. Your bar is so high, and you are no longer settling for anything less than you deserve. I feel there's a great place to close out this message. I'll be back tomorrow with more updates on this energy. Remembering to always use your intuition, check in with these energies and take what resonates and just leave the rest. Thank you so much for watching. Please like and subscribe to my channel, and I will see